And close the room or no?
No, I'm going to leave the room open, let people come in.
But you shut your phone, yes?
I did.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Bonnie. Welcome, Bonnie. This is Frank, and I am going to be your host today. It is the top of the hour, and I am going to be muting everyone. And as soon as I do that, we can get going with the program. Yes, I'm very excited now. If you have a question, you can type it in the chat box. Jeff is going to be our moderator, and he can read the question that you might have, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. Also, Bonnie, we didn't have your email address. Anyone that didn't put in their email address, put it in the chat box, and Jeff's going to make a list of them and give them to me so that I can send everyone a thank you letter and also give them tomorrow's instructions. So with that, I am going to minimize this, and I'm going to, you cannot minimize. Okay, I can't do that. But what I can do is I can share my screen, and hopefully I'm going to be on this one. Jeff, help me out here. Oh, man, make sure I'm on the right screen.
You're on a screen.
Okay.
Looks like your Gmail screen.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a mail screen, but I'm supposed to be, oh, it's in my way, that's why. Okay, I wanted to expand it. Open it all the way up. Okay, all right. So, I wanted everyone to know that I'm excited about the turnout that we've received, and I want to thank everyone for staying until the end. Everyone stayed like right up to the very end, till the last questions were asked yesterday, and I hope you do the same today. I'm going to try to make it a little quicker today than we did yesterday, but make sure you get back to the person who invited you. If you're excited about the things that you're hearing, please let that person that invited you know, because it's important. You are being considered for an ezPro position, excuse me, an ezPro-Associate position, which could lead to a charter member's position. And in other words, this is a stepping stone to your local Easy Financial Group office. What this means is you're going to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. As a business owner, you must demonstrate that you can perform. You can always learn this stuff later, but following instructions separates the employees from the owners. And all I want to be talking to from now on are owners. Yes, you are welcome to bring guests to every call. You are encouraged to bring guests to every call. But all I want to be talking to is people who are business owners. So today, I wanted you to bring your credit report. I asked you to pull your credit report yesterday and bring it with you today. Send it to me. And Jean, can you read off the names of the people that have already sent their credit reports to me? If you could unmute yourself, and maybe I'll have to unmute you.
I think I'm unmuted.
You are unmuted. Thank you.
Okay. As far as I know from checking emails from my desk, the following folks have already submitted their credit reports and are well on their way toward mastering a charter membership. Louis, Regina, Dan M., Jacques, Jeff. And there are 3 folks that I'm aware of that are on a wait list, Tanya, Ron, and William.
Okay. I want to thank you guys for stepping up and taking the responsibility. That tells me that you are made of the right stuff. These people will be moving forward. At the end of this week on Tuesday, we're going to be having full staff interviews. When we have that full staff interview, the staff will be asking you questions and allowing you to ask us questions to determine the likelihood of your success. I'm looking for success-minded people. I'm looking for people who want to start a new career, not, not come to a social club. I want people that's going to want to start a career, because this thing can definitely set you into the
Great.
six-figure areas. And that's where we want you to be. So today is Wednesday. We're going to talk about the credit repair, and that is the reason I ask you to get your credit report, is because we're going to go over a credit report. And at the end of today's lesson, we're going to have you, again, if you haven't already pulled your own credit report, we're going to ask you to pull it again today. And then today, I want you to take the information that you learned from today, and I want you to grade yourselves and then decide where you stand and what you would have to do. So we're going to make that pretty simple. We're going to explain that pretty in depth. Gene, did you want me to talk about anything else before I go into a real quick explanation of a credit report?
Well, Mr. Elio, I lined up 6 quick questions for you. I don't know if you want to run the first 3 at least, so people have an understanding of the details.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and do that. What my idea was going to go down a credit report. I've got a credit report that is perfect for this presentation. And of course, I blocked out the name of the person. Wouldn't share that with anyone. But let's go ahead and ask the questions, and let's see what we can do.
The 3 have to do with the 3 categories of credit repair. What kinds of information speak to a potential associate or a charter member that a person needs credit repair? From looking at their credit report, how do they determine that?
That is a fantastic question, and it's a difficult question to answer because it's in the mind of the borrower. What do they need to do, and what are their goals? Now, it has an awful lot to do with the credit report, whether you're going to go through a high-speed credit sterilization done in under a month, or if you can go low speed and do it in 6 months or less. That is going to be determined by you, what you need. Now, the things that are on your credit report, the degree of severity, the reason we use identity IQ is because you and I can get on to the identity IQ and do what if scenarios. What if we got rid of this? What if we paid that? What if we did something else? And that is going to determine which direction that you should go, in addition to your need for speed. If you got $1 million deal and you're going to lose it, you probably want to go for the credit sterilization. If you've got time to breathe, if you're building your business, if you're working towards having a good credit report, then you might be able to take a little bit of time. That the deciding factor is going to be up to you. I hope that answered that question, Gene.
It was kind of vague, but we'll keep going. What indicates to you that a person needs credit restoration rather than repair? Is it time only?
Not necessarily. Sometimes the credit repair is all somebody needs. If I look at their credit report and I find that the severity of the things on the credit report are not that bad, then credit repair might be good enough, might do the trick. Credit restoration is a longer process, and it's something that we stay with a person, and we could stay with that person 1 or 2 years. And that would be, that the person would have to decide what they want. If it's just a quick fix, or I mean 6 months or less, could be 3 months or less, but I don't know that for sure. Nobody can tell you. Or do they want to build a solid, rock solid foundation? The credit restoration will help you to build a rock solid foundation that you could build an entire empire on.
That was a much better explanation to me. I don't know about others, but thank you very much. The third question I had to do with sanitization. I'm thinking of COVID, and I'm thinking sanitization to me sounds like the most sterile, serious work under credit. Is that true?
Absolutely true. The credit sterilization program is our most expensive program, and it wouldn't be the first choice for somebody who's on a very tight budget unless there were mitigating circumstances. Like, for example, you found the house of your dreams, and there it is, and it's for sale, and you've been wanting that house all your life, and you can't get it because there's something on your credit that is holding you back. The other side of the coin, you're into a multi-million-dollar deal. You could stand to make millions in profit, but there's something on your credit standing in the way, and you can't get it. I'm going to just be really blunt here. The credit sterilization is $2,500. Most people think that's outrageous, but the one who's about to lose $1 million deal or multi-million dollars, $2,500 is a drop in the bucket. So the sterilization, let me just address the sanitization and the COVID-19. Whatever is negative or derogatory is completely removed by a judge.
Oh.
And it is blocked from being reported. The big problem with credit repair in most cases, what's taken off will pop back on every quarter when they release the quarterly tapes. When the judge says it's gone for 7 years. If anyone knows anything about credit, 7 years is a lifetime.
7 years is yeah.
Please mute yourself. Whoever that was that just spoke up, please mute yourself. And so that 7 years is a lifetime. It's gone. So I hope that answered that question, Jean.
That was wonderful. That leads me to the next one, number 4. How do we pick, we ezPro-Associates, which of the 3 would apply to a client? It's not just the number then on the credit score, it's the number and what the client needs, right?
And that is the whole entire concept of the restructuring of Easy Financial. By restructuring Easy Financial and letting the agents that are on the phone, we're going to change the word from agent, which is a statutory word, to associate, and we're going to be talking to our pro associates. What we're doing is we're bringing the level down to the street level. We're bringing the attention to the one-on-one, you and your client. So you now are a consultant to your client. You're not a salesperson just selling a product. You're a consultant to your client. And now it's a one-on-one, a decision that the 2 of you would make, not unlike a doctor in a doctor's office. You find out what's wrong with the client because you learned how to read his credit report. You pointed it out because you did the what-if scenarios and what the solution is, and then you come to a conclusion whether the client needs credit sterilization, credit restoration because he wants to build a foundation, or he wants a quick fix and credit repair. That's how you determine it.
Thank you very much.
Frank, this is Jeff. Did you intend for the screen to be mostly black?
Oh my God, Greg.
Oh, we can see the outline of your screen, but we don't see anything in the middle.
Okay, you're supposed to do that right away, quick. No.
Well, between you and Gene, I could not butt in.
Okay, how about now? What are you seeing now?
Now we see the schedule for these calls.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Don't let it go that long, Jeff. If
Please.
you see something wrong, shout it out.
It was all right. It worked great.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Alio, so the goal of all 3 of these, whether it's repair, restoration, or sanitization, the achievement for the client is to get good credit. Could you please define what good credit is?
Another fantastic question. All right. So the credit scores run from 300 to 850. So 300 would be considered a pretty bad credit score. 850 would be considered a pretty good credit score. In reality, if you have a 680 or above, that is considered a very good credit score. Most things can be achieved in the 680 range. That's not to say with less we can achieve things. We can. But with 680 or above, you've got a better choice, better chance. When you go to 720, you just cross the bridge into the very good credit, extremely good credit area. And there you can have practically anything that you want. Once you cross over the 800 threshold, I'm pretty sure that no matter what it is that you want to get, we can work it out. We can find a way. So the credit is determined by what's called FICO, Fair Isaac Company algorithm. And what that algorithm is a predictor of is the likelihood of somebody going 90 days late. If you're on the low end of that scale, the likelihood is high. If you're on the high end of that scale, the likelihood is very low. The higher you go, the less likelihood it is. Lenders like to lend on a decision of risk versus reward. If you have very, very low risk, they will give you as much money as you want. I hope that answers that question.
Yes, thank you very much. The last question I have for you is, you had mentioned to me to remind you that folks should look at their own credit scores now that they have pulled from IQ Credit, the Try Credit thing, and they should be evaluating their own credit to see where they might fall in those categories, the repair, the restoration, or the sanitization, or maybe they're all set and they don't need any. Is that still your position? You'd like people to do that?
Actually, that's what my assignment is going to be tonight,
Oh,
that everyone does that they pull their own credit. If they haven't done so yet, remember, the ones who've already done so, those are the people who are moving forward. I mean, let's just face it. They listened to me, they did what I said, and I want to reward them. Those are the folks that are moving forward. If you're not out of the woods, you can go ahead and still do it. You pull your credit tonight, and you evaluate your credit on what I talk about today, and you come up with your own decision what you think you would have to do, and then we'll discuss it tomorrow. That will be the topic of tomorrow. And the ones that already did what I told them to do today, those people, we're going to get them funded tomorrow. The people that did the credit report, pulled it in, submitted it to me, we're going to get them funded tomorrow. So I know that answered the question, but I want to
yes.
go a little bit further if that's okay.
Okay.
All right. This is such a frustrating situation to me. A lot of gurus out there will tell you you don't need any credit. You can have bad credit, poor credit, no job. You can make money sitting on your couch, and that's all a bunch of crap. And for years and years, I've heard about the no money down deals and the no credit, buy houses with no credit. The thing that they don't tell you is that you need some credit somewhere. It may not be your credit, but have you ever asked your rich uncle to lend you money? Have you ever asked somebody to give you money because you really, really need it? Or did you ever ask somebody to lend you money and gamble on you that you're going to flip a house or open a new business or do something great and you're going to pay them back with the futures that you earned? It's very, very hard to do what the gurus forget to tell you. They forget to tell you that you need good credit. Now, I'm just going to tell it to you the way it is. If you're serious about business, if you're serious about business, you need to have good credit. I don't care what your credit is right now today. The people who did what I said, we're going to get them funded. But if you're serious about business, you need to have good credit. You need to be building that strong foundation. You need to be raising your credit a little at a time or a lot, but you need to constantly be concerned about credit. Why? Because when you come to a banker sometime in the future and you have a 720 FICO, I said it earlier, you can get practically anything you want. When you go to a banker and you desperately need a loan and you have a 500 FICO or even a 600 FICO, you're going to pay tremendous amounts of interest. You're not going to get the best deal in the house, and they may or may not even approve you. So, like carrying a spare tire in your car, the thing is, if you don't need it right now, that's great. Start working on it when you don't need it, so that when you do need it, it'll be there. And when you walk into a bank, whether it's Bank of America, Chase, or any of our banks, if you walk in and you say, I need $200,000 to buy a buy, fix, and flip, or I have a great idea for a product and I need $500,000 to set my business up. If you already thought it through and build your credit up into the 720, 740, 780, 803s, once you get to that area, you tell the banker what you need, and the banker will just write a check for you. Not quite that easy, but I mean, compared to coming in with a 400, 500, even 600 FICO, your life is going to be much easier. You're going to pay much less interest over the period of the loan. And they're going to even, I know they're not supposed to, but they're even going to treat you better when you walk in the door and when you walk out of the door. The guy with the 400, they're probably going to give him a balloon and tell him not to let the door hit him in the back end on the way out. The guy with an 800, they're going to get a whole lot more than a balloon.
So, Mr. Allier, you had written on Wednesday would be a quiz. The quiz today, am I understanding you correct, is that folks are to evaluate their own credit. That's the quiz, and write you something about it?
That was the quiz. I wanted everyone who had already pulled their credit report. Oh, mine, a half hour is flying by.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know. I see. Well, that's why you're pushing me. Okay, so yes. I'm going to calm down a little bit. I am very excited. I'm very excited for the people who did what I asked them to do. I'm extremely excited for those. Everybody, this is for everybody. Tomorrow, when you come here, I want you to have pulled your credit. Go to Identity IQ, pull your credit, and evaluate your credit yourself. Look at what's pulling you down. Some people think they pay all of their bills on time and they do everything right. Why do they have such a low credit score? I want you to pull your credit report, read it line by line by line, and see what it is that's pulling your credit score down. And you tell me where you think you ought to be.
So do they need to send it to you, Mr. Allier?
I definitely want them to send it. And then tomorrow I'm going to be reading them. I won't use anyone's name. I won't embarrass anyone. I won't expose anything to anyone. But I want them to send it to me so that I can go over and I just maybe say initials or some way when I address them. I want them to just let me know. Maybe I won't say any name at all. Maybe I'll just read their answers. The quiz is, what would you do if you were your client?
That's what you said to me you wanted to do, yes.
If you were your own client, what would you tell your client? That's what I wanted to say.
Mr. Allier, it's time for Q&A from the audience, if you're okay with that.
Not really. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute, and then I really want to bring up I really want to bring up a real quick presentation of what Identity IQ looks like, what the Identity IQ
No,
program looks like.
we're at the half hour, just so you'll be aware.
Okay, so I'm not gonna take a whole lot of time, but I'm going to say, Jeff, or you, can you tell me, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
And what's on the screen?
It looks like the top of Identity IQ credit report.
That's what I wanted to say. Okay. All right. So we are protecting the person's identity. So we're not going to even mention any names or initials or nothing. This person has a 537, a 535, and a 540. We're going to get this person qualified. We're going to get this person their loan. We're going to head towards their first step of their $100,000. This person did what they were told to do, and this person is going to be rewarded for doing so, and this person is also going to be looked at for a position. Okay, so what I wanted to show is this program is so easy for anybody to read. Real quick, right across the top, we see what their scores are. When we come down here, it shows what their balances are. It shows what their monthly payments are. So we can determine quickly whether or not this kind of a client is somebody that we can help. And in this particular case, this is a tremendously good client to help. If you come down here, what we look for is green boxes. Can you see all the green boxes here?
Mm-hmm.
Everything is okay. This person is a great guy. Person. Can't tell you whether it's a man or a woman. It's a great person, and there's no reason for this person to be in the fives. Look at this. Look at this. They have been fantastic. They've got fantastic pay history. Everything about this person is perfect. Why on earth would this person be dragged down? And then we see it. Something terrible happened in this person's life,
Oh,
and he went 150, 150 days late, 120 days late, 90 days late, 60 days late, 30 days late. That is a horrendous thing, and that's going to live with that person for the next 7 to 10 years and longer. It could hang around the neck for even longer. This is somebody, now if this person was looking at $1 million deal, I would suggest them immediately go for the credit sterilization. If this person wanted to build a business and wanted to make a rock solid foundation, I would suggest immediately go for the credit restoration. If this person just wanted to clean up that credit so they could get the maximum amount of money to start their business, I would say to this person, we're going to suggest that you go to the credit repair, because we're going to get rid of all of these negatives that are dragging this person down. Okay, with this person, I learned my business from a man by the name of Marion Hale. He is the first person who wrote a book on credit repair way back in the early 80s. It's kind of giving you an idea of how old I am. But in the early 80s, he wrote the first book on credit repair. And he used to quote to me all the time, in this country, you can be convicted of murder and you can get out of jail in 5 years. But go ahead and screw up on your credit, and it's going to hang around for 7 to 10 years or until they get good and ready to take it off.
Huh.
And in my years of experience, I've seen these kind of negatives on for 15 years. People have had bankruptcies on for 15 years, and a bankruptcy is supposed to fall off in 10, but yet 15 years later, they're still showing. And as long as it's showing, we're not going to be able to do business with that person. So we come down here, and this isn't, I mean, this is bad. I mean, I'm not making light of this. This is bad. And we need to get rid of this, and we will get rid of this. Okay? We will get rid of this. But now, here's the really bad part I'm coming to. Right here shows bankruptcies. Okay, it says the bankruptcy will be on your report for 7 to 10 years. This person never had a bankruptcy. Okay, that could have solved this problem by just having a bankruptcy and then wiping the bankruptcy off. Then he wouldn't have had any of these problems. But have anyone, it's a rhetorical question, you don't have to answer. Has anyone ever heard from a mortgage broker or a car dealership or a whatever saying, oh, inquiries don't hurt. They only take 1 or 2 points off of your score. It's true. An inquiry only takes 1 or 2 points off of your score. But now let's find out what's really ailing this person. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. 41 inquiries. Now let's just say they only took 1 or 2 points off. Let's change this word. Let's change this word from inquiry to decline. Let's change the word inquiry to decline. Now you come into your bank and you wanted that 2% loan that you heard Bank of America advertising. I want that 2% loan. They pull your credit score and they're all smiles and happy and slapping you on the back when they look upstairs. But when they come down here, they see 42 declines.
Mhm.
OMG, which means, oh my God, for you older folks. That's what I'm talking about. First thing I want to do, the first thing I want to do with this client is I want to wipe out these inquiries. So he has 0 inquiries, or at the most, whatever open loan that they have, that will be the only inquiry that is showing. And if I do that, his score will go from the 5s way up into the high 6s and low 7s. When I get rid of all that red ink that we saw up above, he'll go from the low 7s to 720 and above. And what did I tell you about 720? If we get them over the 720 mark, practically anything they want is theirs. Any business they want to start is theirs. Any amount of money that they want to get will be theirs. This is the vital, vital importance of pulling your credit report, staying on top of your credit, watching what happens to your credit, and maybe, just maybe, that red ink wasn't even this person's at all. Maybe it was identity theft. Maybe it was a mistake. 98% of credit reports have something inaccurate or erroneous on them. This may not even be this person's. If we get that off, this person just got a new lease on life. That is a little bit important. Okay, I have gone over the half hour. I thank you. We'll go ahead and we'll open it up for questions. I'm very excited about that. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Okay, and I'm excited about the things that we can do. I'm excited about the people who did their homework. You have a second chance. Go pull your credit. Pull your credit by Identity IQ. The link is right there in the invitation that you got today. Pull your credit. Look at it. Study it yourself and see if you can tell me what you have to fix to pull your score up. And email that to me tomorrow, and we'll talk about those tomorrow. We won't use anyone's name. We'll just say, I have another one here, and this is what they have wrong, and this is what they think is going to fix it. And why are you going through these exercises? Because you're my next leaders. You, listen, I'm talking to you. You are my next leaders. You are the ones that are going to be doing this. This is going to be your business. With that, I yield the floor. Any questions or comments? Jeff, anything in the chat box?
I have a question.
Hey,
This
Tanya.
is Tanya. Hi. I would like for Jean to put her email in the chat box so anybody who hasn't sent the report can send it to her. And then the second one is
Whoa,
the
whoa, whoa, whoa,
program.
whoa, 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 whoa. In the invitation, it gives my email address so you can send it to me.
Okay, we'll send it to you. Okay,
Thank
good.
you.
All right, thank you. And then the other one is that the program that everyone is qualifying for, I'd just like to know, is that going to affect the personal credit?
Oh, what a fantastic question.
Thank you.
Okay, the answer is absolutely not. This first $10,000 that we're going to be going for, this first $10,000 is a business loan. It is a business loan. Now, the difference between business and personal, business is called Paydex. Personal is called FICO. Everybody is familiar with FICO. They know what their FICO score is, or they have an idea. Very few people know what Paydex is. Paydex is exactly the same as FICO, only it pertains only to business. So FICO never looks at Paydex. Paydex never looks at FICO. We're going to be setting you up with a Paydex profile. Then we're going to be giving you the $10,000. Then as you use that program, and you can use it without any interest at all, when this is not the time to explain it, but you can use it without any interest at all. And when you do, that $10,000 will grow as much as you want, up to $100,000. Excellent, excellent question. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Well,
Yes, Jacques.
yes. Oh, you know my voice, huh?
I know your voice.
I got a comment, not a question, and just wanted to confirm what you said yesterday. You're right. There was a huge difference. My credit score were down 20 points below with the credit IQ than it was on experience. So
Okay. But now what we want to do is we want to work on everyone's credit. Now, I'm not picking on anyone. I'm picking on everyone. Everyone's credit. We want you to get that credit, that identity IQ, and then they have the what if scenarios on it. So by looking at the what if scenarios, we can pick and choose the things that we need to attack to get your credit up. And I'm not saying any one in particular, but if you have high FICOs, if you have high inquiries, change that word to decline. Get a high number of declines. We need to address that. That's the first thing we need to address. If you have any red ink, that's the second thing we need to address. If you had a BK showing, doesn't matter if you had a BK, but if it's showing, I can't do business with you. But if I get rid of that BK and it doesn't show, it's gone, wiped out by a judge or wiped out by a system that we use that nobody else uses, if we wipe that out and it's not showing, then I can do business with you. See, this is the beauty of what I'm teaching you. You guys are going to be my leaders. You guys are the ones to be doing what I'm doing. Great question. Any other questions?
Hey, Frank, this is Ron. How you
Hey,
doing today?
Ron.
Good, good. I already know the answer, but anyways, let me ask this, and maybe I'm wrong. I just, about 2 months ago, I paid for some little service that reports your rent stuff, and I finally got it reported, and at about, I think it was Monday of this week, they said, okay, it's finally been done. It's been submitted to the credit bureaus for reporting. So I was figuring I should just, wait till the end of this week and pull your identity IQ, because I wanted that to hit my at least one of the other places, reporting agencies. figuring it might be better with the Edgenuity IQ, but as much, my basic situation with the credit stuff we got to do over the next 30 days, it probably doesn't make a difference to wait. Might as well just pull it now so we can get the process started rather than rolling the dice and see if it reports within the next 3 to 5 days. So no wait, or give it till Friday and see what happens.
So Ron, thank you for sharing that with everyone. You are absolutely right. We don't care what it looks like now or in next Monday. What we care is we want to get started. That's the most important thing, is to get started. Now, what you used, it's called Credit My Rent. And it's one of the programs that we market, Credit My Rent. And for everyone who doesn't know what it is, if you're renting a piece of property, it counts for zero, counts for nothing on your credit report. I don't care if you're paying $20,000 a month, it accounts for nothing. Now, if you go through this program, Credit My Rent, which is one of the things that we use, it acts as if it's a mortgage payment. Now, a mortgage payment is going to hit your credit score for 40 to 60 points. So if I just show your rent as a mortgage payment as opposed to rent, your score is going to jump up 40 to 60 points overnight. And that's what Ron is talking about.
Super.
Any other?
Okay.
But I still think you need to go ahead and do it, because we're going to be having a full. Help me out here, Gene. The full company is going to be interviewing each person.
Next week. We're doing that next week after the trainings you've finished.
Tuesday. What did we call that?
We're calling it an interview
Okay.
amongst ourselves, but it's to become a charter member, to have a business office, to be an independent entrepreneur associated with the Easy Financial.
Okay. All right. So that's going to happen on Tuesday. So you need to get started and do the homework that we're talking about doing. Everyone, not just Ron. I'm not picking on Ron. Everyone needs to do it. And that's how we're going to evaluate who the leaders are going to be. Any other questions? Good question though, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. With that, I'm going to say thank you very much. Thank you,
Jeff.
What I usually do, and I haven't done the last couple of times, is I unmute everyone and I tell everyone to make some noise. So I'm going to see if I can unmute everyone. And, oh no, what happened? Oh, come on. Oh, mute all. Well, where's the unmute all? Oh, shoot.
We cannot.
I can't unmute everyone. What the heck's going on here? Oh, well. I'll make the noise for you. Everyone make noise. Unmute yourself. Just unmute
You're
yourself
gonna
and
mute
make
yourself.
some noise. Unmute yourself.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Right. Good. That's what I want. Make noise.
Yes.
Get excited.
Yeah!
This is an exciting thing. Get excited. All right. God bless everyone.
All right,
God
thank
bless.
you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.